We now turn our attention to the highly competitive world of telecommunications in South Africa. Neotel says it's spending 1 billion rands on infrastructure before March next year as it tries to crack the difficult South African market. It's 4 years ago today since Neotel was awarded a license to become this country's second national operator, and senior management took time out in Johannesburg to tell of their progress. Chris Bishop was there and filed this report.
In a Johannesburg hotel, it was time for Neotel to take stock of 4 hard years trying to break into the competitive South African telecommunications market. It is investing heavily. In the last 4 years, Neotel has spent 3.5 billion rand on infrastructure. That is connecting pieces of plastic like this with the outside world. Before April next year, the company plans to spend another billion rand on infrastructure. Neotel is fortunate in that it has the backing of Indian corporate giant Tata, a company that turns over $75 billion a year and wants Neotel as a gateway into Africa. But for now, breaking into South Africa is a hard slog.
I think in the wholesale and business markets, Neotel is doing fairly well. But I think in the consumer space, it's been a bit of a disappointment. They've signed up fewer than 50,000 retail consumer customers several years into operation. And I think while they played that down today, I think that is a disappointment for them.
The whole South African telecommunications market is worth around 115 billion rand. Neotel estimates that its target market, including the wholesale market, is worth 20 billion rand. The company says it has captured nearly 3 billion in business in a very crowded market.
I think it's wonderful that all these players are investing in this infrastructure, because there was a dearth of investment in the space for decades, quite frankly. So it's great that the private capital is coming here and investing, but there's a risk associated with it, and it's likely that not all of the players are going to make it.
At the helm of Neotel is AJ Pandey, an engineer by trade who has spent 15 years in the telecommunications business. How cutthroat is the telecommunications market that you're trying to break into?
The segment where we are targeting our services into is both a cutthroat market and not so much as well. And I think the reason why I'm saying it has both sides of the coin is because a lot of the potential or the latent need of some of our customers in South Africa was not even visible on the surface till players such as us actually came into being.
Many people say that your customers on the ground are unhappy with your service.
I think let me correct the perception. If you go and talk to our enterprise customers, in fact, more than 50% of our incremental revenue is coming from the existing customers. And that's a very conscious statement which I'm making. So there's something which is being done right very, very clearly and categorically. What you're referring to, or what some of the reports are of a particular nature in the high end of the voice business or the wireless services that we had launched. A lot of people expected our wireless services to be a replacement for what is called ADSL services. Maybe we needed to probably do a little bit of a better job in terms of educating the customers to say CDMA platform does not replace what is called a plain wireline ADSL services.
Now you're spending billions of rand on infrastructure. How concerned are you that the infrastructure in this country could become oversubscribed and you could struggle to make your money back?
I did mention earlier that for typically a shape and size of telecom company that we are in, from the time you start engaging with customers, from the time you start generating revenues, typically takes anything between 3 to 5 years to become EBITDA positive, and then, PAT positive or PBT positive as we sort of go along. And we are pretty much tracking that course. We haven't even completed 3 years. To your point that the infrastructure would be over-provided, the answer is South Africa still has enough appetite to, look for more number of infrastructure players, because the infrastructure is not only about just the number of kilometers of fiber or otherwise. It's about providing that diversity, providing that comfort, providing that redundancy, which is what begins to matter both at the individual level as well as at the enterprise level as you begin to roll out your services. So I think there is still a space and there is still an appetite in this market for that infrastructure. Let's not forget, there are another 100 plus, if not 200. I think that's a number which you need to pick. Licensees who have been given license by ICASA, but they haven't launched as yet. What does this go to prove? That there is a space available for some of the more players to come in and play this game. And people like us who have created infrastructure are being approached by the smaller time vans, are being approached by the enterprises and others. So I think there is very much that appetite left in the marketplace.
How likely is it that you could make acquisitions as you try to climb into this telecommunications market?
About 2 years ago, we did go ahead and made our first acquisition. In fact, we acquired Transtel, which was a division of Transnet, both to gain scale, shape and size. And in fact, in today's time, I would say, particularly in the VANS player or that peer group which is sort of existing, if there is some activity that was to trigger off, and I think if there are some good opportunities, we would not hesitate to make move. I mean, we have already shown our intent. However, I must clarify so that it's not misread or misunderstood. We have no intention of being a mobile player. So we are not going to be, even if there were those opportunities that were to come up on the surface, I don't think you will find us in that queue towards that sort of a consolidation. However, in the enterprise space, if there are players and people and opportunities that are available, we would make our moves.
Neotel claims the Seacom undersea cable brought down bandwidth prices by up to 40%. Another cable is expected to come online next year, and this could bring down prices further and mean even more competition.